New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
Hi, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, and we're here to help you to make sure that you don't overpay your taxes, and that's what EG Tax does. Our job is to be in your corner. I got to tell you, in today's economy, you're lucky if you can talk to any kind of professional. Even your doctor is not available half the time. I mean, it's very difficult. Taxes are very difficult. Tax law is very difficult, and we want to make it so that you understand. So our show is, we have two shows. The one on Saturday on WBEN is a live phone-in talk show where you can call and ask your question, and people across Western New York can hear it. This one, though, is when you email in your tax questions, and so it gives us an opportunity to really chew it up.
Yeah.
And this is Christopher Fabian.
Hello,
and Tiffany
Yes,
Fabian,
and
they're
I want to
married.
say, if you want to email your questions, just go to our website at egtax.com, and there's a place where you can click on there
Ask
and
the tax lady,
question.
and then who knows, your question might be on the show.
Right. Pretty
and we
cool.
try to keep you as incognito as possible.
And we have offices all over Western New York,
do.
Southern Tier, Northern Tier. We're wherever you are,
Right.
from Niagara Falls up to Medina, down to Akron, to Jamestown, Olean, in Buffalo, wherever you are, we are.
We're also in the Schultz Auto Dealership in Olean and Jamestown, and we're in Keepo in Ransomville. Right. So those two
And
car
Mike
dealerships
and
are really great
Glenn's,
guys.
Financial guys on Main Street in Williamsville.
Right.
Too.
Okay, so we have 33 area offices. Our short forms start at $40. Long forms start at 60. Our average charge is about $125 less than the posted fees that the big guys have on their website. Our average charge is a little over $90. And actually, we also have a special at the beginning of the tax year for 1040 easy filers. We do the federal for free, so we're almost like your VITA volunteer, because we want to help those young people that are getting started.
That's
so
right.
they get a good foothold on the on their taxes. The other thing is, with all of taxes being in the news, because we know that President Trump is talking about modifying the tax code, reducing tax rates. Those are things that you want to partner with somebody. If those things happen, you want to know what they are so that you can plan for it.
Yeah,
right.
And that's
EG
why,
Tax is there to help you.
And that's why it's really good to like us on Facebook, because we let you know about what's in the know regarding taxes.
Right. And this show is just during tax season.
Right.
But our radio show, every Saturday throughout the whole year.
For 15 years we've been on.
Yep. We keep you updated throughout the year, so when things change,
You learn right away.
You learn right away from us.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
we
point.
really keep abreast of all the changes in the tax law. So whether you have a tax liability, you haven't filed, one of the things that I think is one of the most missed things is if you're somebody that's under the age of 65, between the ages of 25 and 65, and you have a little
I see.
part-time job and you don't have to file your return because you're under the
Filing
filing
status.
threshold, should you want to file a return?
Yeah.
Why?
Even if you have no children, no dependents,
Why?
because you would qualify for the
Earned income credit.
That's right.
And a lot of times you see a senior who's maybe doing a little part-time job, working at the golf course in the summer, working
in
at
a lumber
Walmart,
yard.
making $3,000 or $4,000, enough to help them along, and they don't have to file. They have
That's right.
Social Security. They don't have to file. But if they did file, they get a $200 or $300 refund from earned income credit.
That's right.
And so a lot of times, you're sitting around with your friends and they say, I don't have to file my tax return. It's true, you don't have to. You just want to. And the other people that want to file a return are people that rent or own a home that has a value of less than $85,000, because on the state of New York, if you're a
There's
senior,
a property
you get
credit.
a property tax credit.
That's right. Which is, as long as your house is not subsidized through the government and it's privy to property taxes, and then you're
Household
entitled.
income's under $18,000.
That's right.
Right, including Social Security.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
even
and
if you
those
don't
kind of
have to
things.
file.
So I think when you're talking to your friends and it's tax time and you think, I don't have to file, you really have to ask yourself, but do I want to file?
That's
Is
right.
there anything in the tax law that could help me? Another group of
College
people
credit.
might be somebody that's retired because on a disability under age 65, on a early disability, and they have kids at home, they get the earned income
Yeah.
credit because their disability can be translated into wages,
Yep.
and they get an EIC
counts
for
as
that,
earned income,
right?
yep.
Pretty cool.
All right, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back on the other side with your emails.
Come spend the day and shop your favorite stores at the McKinley Mall. We have fashion fun for all ages at Old Navy. Best Buy has electronics, computers, appliances, movies, and more. Find great deals shopping for that perfect outfit at American Eagle, Hollister, JCPenney, Express, and The Gap. At Ulta Beauty, you'll find a great selection of cosmetics and fragrances to choose from. Stop into Barnes & Noble for the best selection books.
Attention real estate investors thinking of selling investment property? Pay no tax. Call RJ Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free consultation on how to pay no tax when selling investment properties, call 675-1500 or visit us online at rjgullo.com. Call 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hey, this is Esther, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Bill Barber. Bill's 40-plus years experience has saved me money on my premiums and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Bill will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Bill Barber.
For all your insurance needs, call the Bill Barber Agency at 688-2199. Call 688-2199 today.
Nationwide is on your side.
JD Sound is Buffalo's most professional and unique entertainment source for bar mitzvahs, weddings, private parties, and much more. At JD Sound Buffalo, every event is personally customized with the best lighting and sound to make it unforgettable. To contact JD Sound Buffalo, call 716-908-2633 or email jdsoundbuffalo@gmail.com and visit our website, jdsoundbuffalo.com. Check out our social media, pictures, information, and much more.
Hi, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. Thanks for joining us on Ask the Tax Lady, where we answer your emails regarding your tax returns that are sent to us through our website. If you want to be on our live radio talk show, it's Saturdays at 3 o'clock on WBEN, 9:30 a.m., and you can be famous all over Western New York. And, of course, if you need tax questions answered, we're available all the time, right?
Exactly.
And you can talk to a real person who answers your real tax questions. I mean, the IRS doesn't answer tax questions
No,
anymore.
really?
they used to.
They
There was
say-
a time.
They say call your tax advisor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There was a time. It was really awesome when you could call the IRS and ask a tax question, but that is now gone.
That's
for
exactly
about
right.
4
So
or 5 years.
you kind of wing it, I guess. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're here to help you.
And then if you have to go downtown to Buffalo to see the IRS, you have to make an appointment in advance. You can't just walk in anymore, too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to go to our emails. We have Mr. Bill. What is our first email, sir?
Leroy from Amherst writes, I am an over-the-road truck driver and I operate my own rig. The self-employment taxes are killing me. I seem to never be able to catch up. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, I'll tell you, every self-employed truck driver that I've dealt with, what happened is they got behind in the first year and they've never been able to catch up. So, for instance, if you're making a $100,000 net profit, your self-employment taxes alone are $15,300, you know, and so, and then on top of that, you pay your income taxes of another $33,000. So you're looking at $48,300 on $100,000. Well, that can really cramp your style.
And so, like you said, if you right from the get-go get behind, you should
It's
start doing
really
estimated payments
It's
and
really,
sit down
really
with
tough.
your accountant and have a good bookkeeper and have a good bookkeeping program, because money in, money out, and so there's all those expenses.
But one of the things that I suggested, first, one of the truckers that I dealt with, his rig was getting older, and I said, look, why don't you want to buy a rig, why don't you buy a rig this year? We'll do a 179 expense. That takes care of most of the income, which eliminates the entire capital gain. Then we can pay up your taxes and catch up so this doesn't happen again. I said, now next year we're going to get slammed, but this year it gives an opportunity to catch up, and that's one of the things that you can do.
And it doesn't have to be a brand new rig. It has to be the year the rig was placed
Placed
in
into
service.
service.
I'm just thinking
Brand new to you.
I'm just thinking of a client who I could use that for.
Brand new to you.
Right.
So, that's one of the ways to catch up. Another thing is I'll say to somebody, do you have equity in your home where you can write a check and put it on a home equity? Because believe me, it's cheaper to pay a home equity credit line, which is tax deductible, than it is to pay penalty and interest because you're behind the 8 ball with the IRS.
And another thing is the worst penalty is the failure to file. So I would never tell this guy not to file his return. Make sure you get in and file your tax returns too.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
I was going to say, did he claim all his expenses?
Yeah.
There's a lot of expenses for over-the-road truckers.
Fuel.
Well,
costs.
in DOT, your DOT
Taxes.
rate is 80% for
That's right.
your travel, as
Tolls,
opposed to
your per diem.
50%. Your
I
per
mean,
diem,
he may
right.
not even. He may be going, "What's a per diem right,
Right,
now
right,
on my tax
right,
return?"
right.
So,
So-
give us a call. We can take a look. and
That's
see.
exactly right. So your per diem, you get a flat rate based upon
Where you
the
travel.
geographic area that you go in your truck, and they allow you to take X amount per day. So let's say, just for math, it's $50 a day, and let's say you're out of the area 260 days. That would be $13,000. Normally, only half of it would be deductible because it's considered entertainment, but because you're DOT,
Right.
you get 80% of it. So
10,400.
in thank you, Chris. Chris said 10,400. So 10,400. So that's a great big deduction.
That's
And
huge.
again, that saves you the 15.3% FICA, the 25% income tax, and the 9% to New York State. That's a big savings.
Yep. And so you really got to
And a
sit there and
pension
look
plan.
at all your
And
expenses.
the other thing is these over-the-road truckers, they're so far behind the 8 ball because of the FICA, they can never put money into their pension plan,
Yeah.
which would be
Yeah.
another great way to save money,
Absolutely.
right? Okay, Mr. Bill, what do we got?
Candy from East Aurora writes, I'm a single mom of 2, but my ex-husbands get to claim one of the kids. I make $35,000 a year and I have no taxes withheld because I barely make ends meet. I work a second job and make $3,000, so at tax time I end up with only a $500 refund because my earned income credit is so small. What am I doing wrong?
Well, it sounds like she's a custodial parent, right?
Right,
So she
right.
gets to claim earned income credit for both the kids. And so my first question to her is she doing that? Is she
Well,
just
she's
claiming,
having no taxes withheld. See?
But I wonder if she's just claiming EIC for one of the kids. I've
Well,
seen
that's
so many
a
people do
possibility.
that.
But the EIC on $38,000 is not that big for 2 kids.
Right.
You
but
know,
she gets the
especially
child
when you
tax
consider
credit, the
that she
additional.
has to cover her entire liability. You can look it up, Chris.
Yeah.
But she's covering her liability, and she's only getting the $1,000 child tax credit on one child because it sounds like the other one's being claimed by her
Mm-hmm. Right,
husband.
right,
So
right.
I'm assuming the EIC would only be like,
For 2 children,
$3,000?
For 38,000, it's $1,354.
yeah, so $1,354 is the earned income credit.
Right.
And on 38,000,
But she's
head of
not
the
gonna
household,
pay much
she's got not that
tax.
big of a standard deduction and personal exemption, so
Right.
she's got a liability. So there's nothing much for her to do. She could put money into an IRA
And she'd
that
get
would help,
she'd get the retirement savers
and she'd
credit.
get the retirement
She'd get
savers
the
contribution
retirement-
credit.
yes.
But really, it's
really
she-
tight.
Yeah.
It's gonna
as
be-
long as she's in this situation where her income's lower and she's not having anything withheld, the earned income credit is basically paying her the taxes that should have been
And
withheld.
the truth is, too, her second job, as much as it's helping her during the year, is hurting her come tax time.
Right.
Because it's part-time, she's probably not working a lot of hours, so there's not going to be any withholding, which is great during the year.
I think she said
because
there was no withholding anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now she's adding $4,000 worth of income at 15%. That's $600 worth of federal tax. So
Yep.
she could have withholding.
Right.
And then she might want to have a conversation with
But-
the dad and see if how much, maybe he's not working, maybe he makes so much money. I mean, she might want to have a conversation with the dad if they have a good relationship and see if she could claim
You know
the
what,
other
though?
child.
We always preach, keep your money in your pocket.
That's true.
That's what she's doing.
She certainly is.
She's doing exactly
But what hurts is, you go
You
to your
want
friend,
friends, and
and
they
your
get-
friend says, I'm getting 10,000,
Yes.
I'm getting
Yes.
12,000. And she says, well, I'm only getting 1,300. And that's because when you're on that. The
Plus.
earned income credit, what people don't realize is from 0 wages up to about 13,000, the earned income credit starts to go up. From like 13,000 to 18,000, it's flat. And from 18,000 down to 42,000, it gets smaller and smaller. Well, she's at the back end of the earned income credit. That's why she doesn't have much.
And then I hope, correct me if I'm wrong, but I hope at work she's not paying for health insurance, because wouldn't she qualify for even, she could get the non-essential plan, or she could qualify for Medicaid, right, Chris? I mean,
Yep,
she's
there-
really
well,
close.
not Medicaid, probably not
But
Medicaid,
the
but
non-essential,
right.
yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. We'll join you on the other side.
JD Sound is Buffalo's most professional and unique entertainment source for bar mitzvahs, weddings, private parties, and much more. At JD Sound Buffalo, every event is personally customized with the best lighting and sound to make it unforgettable. To contact JD Sound Buffalo, call 716-908-2633 or email jdsoundbuffalo@gmail.com and visit our website, jdsoundbuffalo.com. Check out our social media, pictures, information, and much more.
Attention real estate investors. Interested in buying or selling multifamily investment property? Call RJ Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free opinion of value on your multifamily investment property, call New York State's premier multifamily realty company at 675-1500 or visit us online at rjgullo.com. Call 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hey, this is Esther, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Bill Barber. Bill's 40-plus years experience has saved me money on my premiums and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Bill will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Bill Barber.
For all your insurance needs, call the Bill Barber Agency at 688-2199. Call 688-2199 today.
Nationwide is on your side.
People often ask me, why should I use EG Tax? Why shouldn't I do it myself? First of all, our prices are 50% lower than our national competitors, and we're staffed with qualified licensed tax professionals. We know how the tax laws work for you. Secondly, when you hit submit, unless you're a trained tax person, you never know what you put on your tax return. Taxes are extremely complicated, but when you partner with EG Tax, you have someone in your corner. This year, come join our family.
Mr. Golias, a tax lady from EG Tax. We want to help you with your taxes, and thanks for watching our program, Ask the Tax Lady, where we answer your tax questions that you emailed into us. If you want to be on our live show, it's Saturdays at 3 o'clock on WBEN, 3 to 4 on 9:30 a.m., and you can be famous throughout Western New York. But in the meantime, we have your questions that we're going to answer. I got Tiffany Fabian, Christopher Fabian, and they're my loyal sidekicks who help me
Compadres.
stay straight here. So we got Mr. Bill's going to read us some of our questions. What's the next
We
one?
will. The next one's from Dan from Orchard Park, who writes, I just bought a new Lincoln Navigator and I paid a ton of sales tax. And normally I do not itemize because my house is paid for. I'm 62 years old. I pay taxes of $7,700. Do I get any sales tax?
Ah, well, great. You know, he usually doesn't itemize, but I think this year it's going to be an opportunity for him to itemize because he's got the property taxes and the sales tax on the Lincoln Navigator. And I don't remember if he was married or single, but I'm thinking that's going to beat his standard. And so an extender, one of the extenders were that you
Sales
can write
tax.
off the sales tax. So he is going to be able to write off the sales
Well, if
tax
he's-
and his chart figure.
If he's single, all right, his sales tax is going to be about $4,000.
Right.
And you either take your state withholding that you paid on, or state taxes you paid in, or the sales tax, whichever is greater. He being 62, it sounded like he was retired. Did
Right.
you say he was retired? Doesn't
say.
Well, if he is retired, he may not be paying anything to New York State at all. So it seemed like the sales tax would work. the property taxes being 7,700 brings him up to 11,700. If he has any charitable, if he gives maybe $1,000 to charity, we're at 12,700. And did he pay his broker or anybody anything? So it looks like he can itemize this year, and it'll save him some money if he's single. If he's married, it's not going to save him much.
And then don't forget, with the sales tax from the car, he also adds the chart figure of what the chart sales tax is based on his income too. So he's
based
also
upon
got
his
that
income. So,
too.
So it looks like he's going to squeak by. Maybe he'll save a couple $100.
Right.
If he's married filing a joint return by itemizing, and maybe about $500 if he's single, and that's better than nothing.
That's
right.
And
That's
you know,
right.
with sales tax too, it's just not a car, motorcycle, RV. And that's a big one.
Moving vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Over and above the chart figure.
Yeah. And then, I'm still waiting for a helicopter or an airplane for someone to come in and say they bought one of those. to
Chris,
take
with
the sales
all
tax.
the tax returns you do each year, there's got to be one coming in your
None.
future. None?
None that I've seen for a helicopter or airplane yet. Waiting. But those count.
They do.
Oh, it's interesting because we had somebody call the radio show who said that they bought a helicopter,
Yes,
a
that's right.
plane
That's
in
right.
Niagara County before they said that you didn't have to pay sales tax, and he paid the sales tax on it, and he called and he was concerned how he would take that as a deduction.
Wow.
I can imagine that was a pretty penny.
Yes.
So yes, you can itemize. A lot of times people say, I don't feel like bothering with that, and so then you overpay your taxes by $500. It's interesting. People will always brag about, I saved $20 here, I saved $15 here, I saved 5 cents on gas over here, and yet they'll overpay their taxes by hundreds of dollars,
Chris
sometimes
always
thousands
says,
of dollars.
"Give me the money."
And it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got here? What's the next one, Mr. Bill?
Doug from Tonawanda writes the following. My husband and I have 2 children, and we're very unhappy in the school district that we live in. So we started homeschooling our kids. Is there anything I can take for this expense?
No, unfortunately.
Nothing's deductible. Nothing at all.
Nothing, but that's
I mean, you
a
can
wonderful
start.
thing.
You can set up one of those IRA accounts, which will allow you to put money in that isn't tax deductible, that grows tax deferred,
Coverdell?
but the Coverdell savings, but it's like nothing.
And I can tell you that's a really common question. There's so many people that have their kids go to private schools and they say, is there anything that I can take for sending my kid for K through 12 to a private school? And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. Yeah,
No,
sadly. but-
really, there isn't.
The
So-
educator
Wah,
expenses
wah.
aren't there.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No,
So
nothing.
But now it's interesting because one of the things under Trump's things that he's been saying is that he wants to be very proactive for families, and so who knows what's going to come down the pike.
That would
So
be
we will
great.
certainly keep you informed. All right, Mr. Bill, we got another one.
George from Buffalo writes, I'm a volunteer fireman, and so are my 2 kids, ages 17 and 18, and all are volunteer firemen. So I can take the volunteer fireman credit on my tax return, right?
Yep. You got to be full-time,
Full-time.
Full-time?
As a
not auxiliary, as a
or a junior.
right.
You-
And the kids have to be at least, I think, 16 to be a firefighter. So the kids would file their own returns. They
return.
get a $200 credit, and the father files his return, and he gets a $200 credit on New York State, and it's a refundable credit. And so if you're a volunteer firefighter and you've never taken that credit, amend those tax returns because you have money coming
And not
back.
to mention-
And if your wife is also
That's what I was just gonna say.
a volunteer firefighter.
Right.
I have one family, the whole family's volunteer.
yeah, I
I think
have
if
one.
Amherst ever, Swarmsville, if Swarmsville ever catches on fire, they will save the city.
And
But-
go on, Chris. Chris.
And then his mileage. Going to
Oh,
the fire
true,
hall
true,
for
true.
the calls, going for the
14
trainings.
cents a mile, getting
that
his
all
little,
counts
his
as part of
boots
his
and all that
charity.
stuff. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
So-
And it's pretty cool. The firemen, they get a lot of them, the agencies will have a pension for the people who are volunteer firemen for so many years.
That's true.
Award.
Longevity
Right.
awards,
Right.
which is pretty
Which
awesome.
then is also tax-free on New York
On
State.
New York State,
Yep,
correct.
yep.
Okay, Mr. Bill.
A lot of people don't know that.
Chrissy from Batavia writes, I've heard advertised on TV about a New York 529 educational plan, and my mother would like to put money into it for my children. She's retired and lives off her Social Security, and a small pension would really help her on her taxes.
We talked about this
Yeah,
last
we
week.
did.
And
Have the
in this
daughter do it.
situation, mom has no liability on the state.
Right.
So if mom puts money in a 529 plan up to $10,000, it's not going to help her at all. And so rather, mom should gift the money to her daughter, who then can make the contribution for
The
for the
529.
kids, for the 529. And if the daughter's working and has taxable income, she'd be able to take it on the state. So the mom would gift the daughter would do
Right.
the 529.
And make sure though it's a New York
529
529 plan,
yes.
because if it's an Alaska 529, and people will say, well, why would I do that? Because maybe their growth is 4%, where New York is 2%, so you want a bigger bang for your buck. But you don't get the deduction then on
Right.
your New York return.
Correct.
So you got to be careful with that. Also, when you go to use the money for education, the growth, you can't use that towards the education credit on the federal for the education credit, and New York State, you can't claim the education credit as well.
Up to that
Up
income.
until- yeah.
Right. Okay, and then what else we got, Mr. Phil?
Lenny from West Valley writes, I sold my rental properties after 30 years. I paid $90,000 for them. I paid, $90,000 for them and sold them for $90,000. So since there's no gain or loss, I can just write them off or leave them.
All right, that'll be our cliffhanger, and we'll answer that on the other side. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady.
Attention! Are you interested in using your existing retirement account to buy and sell real estate tax-free? Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free consultation to buy and sell real estate tax-free through the use of a self-directed IRA or a solo 401k, call 675-1500 or visit us online at rjgullo.com. That's 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hi, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. Thanks for watching us on Ask the Tax Lady. And the answer to that question is, if you have rental property that you've had for 30 years, even though you paid $90 for it, you wrote off $90, I'm excluding the land, which means that you have a zero basis. So if you sell them for $90, it means you have a $90,000 gain. So no, you can't leave them off your tax return. If you do, the IRS, Uncle Sugar will be at your front door and fitting you for a lovely striped suit. So no, you can't do that. Now what you can do is you might do an exchange.
You can do
right?
an exchange where you get rid of this property and you trade it for property B somewhere else. As long as
Like
it's
in
a
Florida.
like-kind exchange, right? So maybe you now want to move to Florida, so you can exchange it for a rental property in
And
Florida.
then it would defer the gain until finally you sell it, or
Or die.
it goes on to your heirs, who would then get a stepped up basis, which
Right.
is a really good thing. By
But
the way,
really
my
important,
whole
Lenny,
game plan is defer, die.
It does have to go on your tax return.
It does.
Unless
It
you
certainly
do an
does.
exchange.
Okay, so we have 33 area offices. We want to help you. If you have any questions, give us a jingle at any of our offices. You can email us through our website at egtax.com. Ask a tax question. You can call us Saturday on our live show on WBEN AM 930 between 3 and 4, where you can actually ask your question and everybody in Western New York will hear you. Or, we're available for consultations all the time.
That's right.
And not so much this time of year because we're kind of busy doing tax returns, but all summer long we do consultations with clients. The bottom line is, if you have a problem, if you think you have a problem, if you think you have a question, if you're asking your Aunt Stella, who's making lasagna, if you can take a tax deduction, you've gone to the wrong people. What you need to do is you need to go to people that know what they're doing. Taxes are complicated and we want to help. And I just want you to know our fees are really reasonable, and we guarantee that we're going to do a great job. We have attorneys, we have CPAs, we have enrolled agents, and all of our other preparers are licensed by the federal and the state of New York. EG Tax wants to help, and we want to be your tax firm. And like we always say, we'd like you to come join our family. We think of everybody as family, because once they're in our little circle of friends, we just love you. Well, we love you anyway. And remember, if you have any questions during the year, if you can't pay your liability, if you've had a problem in the past, if you're thinking of going to some high-priced broker to help you negotiate a settlement with the IRS, EG Tax does that. And we charge like $100 to get started, and they charge thousands of dollars. We want to be your hometown tax team. So until next week, I'm Esther Golias with Christopher Fabian and Tiffany Fabian saying we hope you have a great week. Call us if you need any help. God bless. Bye-bye.